Welcome back, fight fans. Welcome back to another edition of Facts versus Feelings, unbiased and open boxing talk with the landlord. And we just got to break it down honestly and objectively as possible. I'm just going to go through everybody. Let's just talk that boxing talk. What's good with you? The people's eyebrow, Slick, Modern Czar. I think your name, Yayo. Is that who you are, Yayo? Salute to you guys. Hold on, we got some comments already. Look, let's just talk boxing. Let's just talk boxing. Salute to my brother Victor Rodriguez. Salute to you, family. He says, check it in with the landlord. My brother People's Eyebrow said, this is not for you. My brother Slick said, if you moan when you wipe your ass, this is not for you. That's right. That's right. Thank you, my brother Victor Rodriguez. Yayo says, fact, Adrian Broner, Errol Spence, and Bud admired, I think he means admitted, that Errol Spence and Bud weren't going to get any money guaranteed. What difference does it make if there was guaranteed money? Errol Spence was happy with the deal, and Terence Crawford agreed with it, so that means he had no problem with it. I don't understand a bunch of people complaining about guaranteed money or not. What difference does it make? Everybody agreed. You guys got to get out your feelings and stick to the facts. My brother, the People's Eyebrow says, if you have Terence Crawford as your number one pound for pound, this is not for you. I'm going to tell you this. Terence Crawford, he's an excellent fighter. He's an elite fighter. And that's why I respect Terence Crawford in the ring. Outside of the ring, Terence Crawford has never fought an elite fighter, and he doesn't appear to want to fight any elite fighters. He had a chance to fight Errol Spence, Virgil, and Boots, and didn't knock down the door to fight any one of those guys. I mean, we just got to be real. A pound-for-pound fighter doesn't fight this level of opposition in their 35 years old. They simply don't, and that's a fact. Yayo says Canelo, Usyk, Crawford. Ain't no way Crawford is even number 3. He could be 4 or 5 maybe, but number 3 fighting this level of competition doesn't make sense. My IQ is 2 says, who you got? Bivol versus Beterbiev. I think that's a 50-50 fight. I think obviously Bivol is the more skilled fighter, but Beterbiev, I mean, this guy, he can end that fight with one punch at any point in the fight. He's a monster, so I can see that going any way. I can honestly see that happening anyway. I can see that going any type of way. I think it's 50-50. Salute to Freddie. What's cracking, IBFP? Salute to you, family. I appreciate it. Connor Mason, Bivol wants to fight Beterbiev. Thoughts? I think that's good. I mean, look, if he doesn't want to rematch you with Canelo, there's nothing Canelo can do. If Canelo still has the rematch clause in the contract, you can sweeten the pot. But, you know, if worse comes to worse, Canelo can always fight the winner if he wants to go that route. If not, Canelo can stay at 168. I mean, Canelo Alvarez does not campaign at 175. So whatever Canelo Alvarez does, it's up to him to do it. He's not obligated to do anything. Salute to my brother Javier. He said, give us some body bags. I'm sure that one of these guys are going to, you know, jump into a body bag at some point. Kobe Breeze says, rumor has it Bud and Spence is happening in 2023. I don't know. I have not heard that rumor. Salute to my brother, the People's Eyebrows. I salute to you, family. Antonio, salute to you, family. He said, what's up, IBFP? How do you see the Bivol versus Sordo fight going this weekend? I think, you know, I'm going to lean towards Bivol in this fight. I think that Bivol is the more skilled fighter, has the better footwork. He has a very good chin. He's a good all-around fighter. He checks many boxes. He hasn't been outlanded punch-wise in any fight since 2018, I believe. If you look at the numbers and the statistics, nobody has outlanded Dimitri Bivol in a fight or anything like that since 2018. So he's going to be a very, very tough fight for Sordo Ramirez because Sordo is going to always be there to be hit. His footwork is not as good as Bivol. So Sordo is going to need to use his size. He's going to need to go to the body to stop the movement. He's going to need to break down Bivol and try to hurt him to get this win. I think it's going to be an intriguing fight. I'm very, very excited to see. I would never write off Sordo Ramirez, but I'm favoring Bivol, but I could see it going any direction in that way as well. My brother, the People's Eyebrow, says a free agent in this situation goes for the second best option. And that's what I try to tell people. There's a lot of Terence Crawford fanboys, a lot of, Terence Crawford meat lovers out there. And that doesn't take away from how good a great Terence Crawford is, but there's too many of these fanboys out here pumping this guy up. Think about it like this. I'll give you an example. So you have Terence Crawford, and he couldn't get the fight with Errol Spence. What's the next best fight that everybody wants to see? Either Terence Crawford and Virgil Ortiz or Terence Crawford and Boots Ennis. Now we're not able to get those fights. Nobody wants to see that. Nobody wants to see that. I mean, let's just be real about it. People want to see this guy versus Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis if you can't get Errol Spence. Why nobody wanted to see you fight David Amnesia? Nobody wants to see this. Nobody. And we just got to be real about it. You're talking about giving the fights. He said, oh, those names never come up. You're the A side. You're the boss. Why didn't you send an offer, dumbass? You called up that guy. You couldn't call up this one? I really don't understand it. My brother in format says, if it means anything, Usyk was dropped by a body shot by Beterbiev in the amateurs. I mean, Beterbiev has freaky power. That's just one thing. He has freaky power. But with Usyk, you have to figure out how to land that power to be effective. And that showed in the Usyk Anthony Joshua fight. If you can't land the shot, the power don't mean nothing. So Usyk is truly talented, a top pound for pound fighter. My brother IQ says, Avenetian isn't even top 10 at 147 for me, LOL, meaning there's at least 8 better dudes Crawford could have fought. I don't think Terence Crawford was looking to fight the best. I mean, you got to think about it. The guy literally said he wanted a tune-up. He literally said he wanted a tune-up. I mean, come on. I mean, that's what it is. I mean, that's all it is. I mean, if he was really just trying to fight the best, I'll give you this. If Terence Crawford was all about fighting the best, and the Errol Spence fight just simply couldn't be made for whatever reason, then he should have fought Virgil Ortiz or Boots Ennis, Keith Thurman, anybody else. But to turn around and fight David Amnesia, nobody wants to see that fight. That's hurting boxing. When you you say this is the same guy who said he's the best fighter in the world, and you think the best fighter in the world should be trying to fight a guy like David Amnesia, the best fighter in the world? If Usyk fought a guy this level, they'd call it a cherry pick. If Canelo fought a guy this level, they call it a cherry pick. That's what I'm saying. You can't have a standard for all these other guys and then change your whole entire standard for Terence Crawford because he's your friend. I can't respect that. That's trash to me. That's trash. Where is Jamal Charlo? Jamal Charlo, he's been posting on social media more and more often lately. This dumbass just had a photo shoot. Then he had another one in the gym working out. Where is Jamal Charlo is going to be the new phrase at this point, because Jamal Charlo, we likely won't see him until sometime next year. And I guarantee you, I'm willing to put a bet on it that he's not going to take a top fighter right off the bat. He's going to come out and get one of the easiest tune-ups and that you've ever seen in your life, because that's what we've seen from Jamal Charlo for years. We've seen him take tune-up after tune-up after tune-up. This guy loves his cherry picks, and I don't think that's going to change at any point. My brother states Plant and Benavidez in March. Yeah. So David Benavidez was on that show. I listed it up on my last video. Forgot the name of it, but shout out to those guys. Go check out the video if you haven't seen it so you can see what happened. There's an audio clip I played of David Benavidez saying that they're going to give him Caleb Plant in March. So David Benavidez says he's getting the Caleb Plant fight in March. I don't know if this is true or not. I'm using David Benavidez's own words. These are not my words. These are not my opinion. This is what David Benavidez is saying. So I'm going to take him at his word. If he says he's fighting Caleb Plant, let's see it. I just want to see the fight. So if you're going to fight Caleb Plant, you're saying you're fighting Caleb Plant, let's see you fight Caleb Plant in March. That's all I want to see. If he does fight Caleb Plant in March, that's the fight that I've been waiting for. That's the fight. That's the fight that I need. That's all I'm saying. I need Benavidez to take on a very good opponent. And I think that would be a very telling fight for both of those guys. Victor Rodriguez say, you think Avenetian already knew about Crawfish offering him a fight? That's why they turned down the fight with Ortiz? Absolutely. I believe this was collusion from Terence Crawford from day one. I mean, think about it like this. Why would David Avenetian duck a Virgil Ortiz fight when he could have made, and that would have been the biggest fight on his radar? And he's like, no, you ducked the Virgil Ortiz fight after you guys were already in somewhat of agreement. And now you turn around and you miraculously get a Terence Crawford fight. I mean, Terence Crawford has been trying to fight this guy since last year. I don't know if you know that. These guys already had a signed agreement last year to fight David Avenetian, and he ended up fighting Porter or whatever, and so that didn't happen. And so they put that to the side, and now he's coming back and fighting David Avenetian. David Avenetian is known this whole time. These guys will never be honest. They'll never tell you the truth, but you'll see. My brother Through the Rope says, what happened to the animation series you were doing? I can drop an animation. If you guys want an animation, drop in the chat what you want the next animation to be about, and I'll drop an animation on it. If you want it about Dante, if you want it about Terence Crawford, if you want it about Jamal Charlo, if you want it about whatever you want it about, just drop it in the chat, and I'll see what's up, and I'll make one. Because you know what? If you like the animations, I'll keep them coming. If you don't, it don't really matter. Salute to my brother Loco. Salute to you, family. Andre says PBC does not want to share the rights to stream with other platforms. So I'll put it like this: the PBC has nothing to do with that. And I'll give you an example. So Oscar De La Hoya came out and stated, "This is not my words. This is Oscar's words." Oscar says, "Hey, me and the PBC have all made our contractual agreements. We've all agreed. So the PBC is in agreement with Golden Boy, and Golden Boy is in agreement with the PBC. But the only two problems is DAZN and Showtime having a disagreement. This has nothing to do with the PBC or Golden Boy. This is all between the networks, and the networks are Showtime and DAZN. To my knowledge, based on what Steven Espinosa has said, is that Showtime is willing to take the first fight and give DAZN the rematch. DAZN apparently does not want the rematch. They want to be a part of the first fight as well. So this fight, we'll see what happens, but it has nothing to do with the PBC directly. That's propaganda. Yayo said Virgil Ortiz versus Stanchionis. Who do you think? Do you think this fight will happen soon? I don't know. I have no idea. But if it does happen, I got Virgil Ortiz by knockout. My brother IQ2, salute to you. He says, in my opinion, Spence 1, Crawford 2, Boots 3, Virgil 4, Thurman 5, Ugas, Stanchionis, Ben, Butev, and Mean Machine. That's his top 10 at welterweight. Salute to my brother Noe. And he said, what's up, Nuke? Thank you, Noe. Thanks for supporting the channel. I appreciate the love and respect. Kendo Animation, salute to you, Kendo. He says Usyk is 1 pound for pound, Canelo 2, Inouye 3, Spence 4, Bivol 5. You can't even argue with that top 5. That's a very good top 5, full of a lot of top fighters. Can't hate on it. Canelo's undisputed, Usyk's unified. So you see the top 2 slots, and you see Inouye, Spence, and Bivol are all absolute monsters. So I can respect that. How do you feel about Inouye going for undisputed? I feel very good about that. I think Inouye is truly a monster. My brother Josh says too many Bud Crawford nut huggers. I mean, I'll put it like this. If you're a Terence Crawford fan and you want to be objective, then I can respect that. But if you want to get on here and tell me, oh, Terence Crawford said he had this deal for $25 million for both of these guys, why didn't they have a guarantee? Guarantee don't matter. Any deal for $25 million don't matter. He agreed to fight Errol Spence at the terms that were offered to him. He agreed. Those are not my words. Those are his words. So if you agreed, you should have signed the contract and gave us the fight. There's only one person responsible for holding up the fight, and that's Terence Crawford. If you don't agree with that, you're a dumbass. I'm sorry. You're pushing a narrative from one of these channels that are Terence Crawford fans. I've only seen boxing channels talk about this that are looking to either push a narrative or they're Terence Crawford fans. Admittedly, Terence Crawford fans. That's all it is. Beterbiev dropped Usyk with a body shot in the amateurs. Obviously, both are going Both are a long way improved, but imagine his power is still freakish. Absolutely. And I think his power has shown that it's still freakish. So that's why I think Beterbiev is a very, very dangerous fight for anybody he steps in. That goes for Bivol as well. He could sleep him. But I could also see Bivol tap dancing, boxing well, and getting a decision. So I think that's truly a 50-50 fight. Joe Dirt says Canelo's still the king of boxing. In my opinion, Canelo Alvarez is still the king of boxing. He's still undefeated at 168 pounds, his best weight class. Remember, Canelo Alvarez does not campaign at 175. He's too small for that weight class. He's not a natural 175-pound fighter. He took a risk going up there. This is what people don't understand. They call that risk a cherry pick. That shows you how casual they are. So at the end of the day, you know, Canelo Alvarez still undisputed at 168, still undefeated at 168. Canelo Alvarez is a monster at 168. And I don't see nobody at the weight class beating him at 168, period. Period. Rocky says the second best option is about money. He will make more money. He doesn't have to prove anything. He's already pound for pound. So, Rock, so this is what you call a Terence Crawford nut hugger. So the second best option is all about money. It's all about money. He's already pound for pound. How do you think you get on a pound for pound list, dumbass? It's about what you're doing in the ring. It's about fighting top level competition. Terence Crawford has never fought one elite fighter. Not one. In his whole life, he's not fought one. Sean Porter was basically at the door of retirement. I mean, let's be honest. Kell Brook was washed. Let's be honest. And Jeff Horn, who? Exactly. So if we're just going to be honest and unbiased about it, Rock, I'm going to just tell you, if you want to stay on the pound for pound list, he needs to fight somebody better than this. He's not the best fighter of the world, and he's not pound for pound number one. He's dropping down the list with low level competition like this. You know, if you follow legacy, the money will come. If you follow legacy, the money will come. Look at Canelo Alvarez. Followed the legacy, went undisputed. The money's coming. The man is on the top 10 richest athletes. I mean, what are we talking about here? I mean, at the end of the day, Terence Crawford has to fight elite fighters. The fact that he has not been fighting elite fighters is why nobody's really interested in this trash. That's all I'm saying. You can say what you want, but that's what it is. I got Tank pound for pound number one, Spence 2, Crawford 3. We all know that's a joke because Tank ain't nobody's pound for pound number one. The Wolf of Wall Street out convincing Errol to take the Thurman fight as we speak. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't see no problem with Errol Spence taking a mandatory fight or fighting Keith Thurman. I mean, think about it. Bug Crawford. No, Bud Crawford. He's the one who pulled out of that fight. He's the one who messed up those negotiations. He's the one who ducked. So if Errol Spence fights his mandatory, so be it. If Errol Spence fights Keith Thurman, so be it. Keith Thurman is a better fighter than David Avanesyan. That's just what it is. Keith Thurman is a more accomplished fighter than David Avanesyan. That's just what it is. And so if we're just going to be honest and unbiased about it, it is what it is. And I don't have a problem with Errol Spence fighting Keith Thurman. It literally shows you that Errol Spence is trying to fight the best if that fight does happen compared to Terence Crawford, who's just trying to go for a quick payday. I mean, let's just be honest. My brother Javier, salute to you, family. He says, little fish Bud didn't want to swim with the shark, so he's swimming with a tadpole. He's swimming with a piece of caca. That's what he's swimming with. I mean, at the end of the day, I like Bud, but I'm going to put my foot on his neck because that's just the facts of the matter. The guy ducked the smoke. I mean, if Errol Spence, think about this. If Errol Spence would have said, you know what, blindsided Terence Crawford, pulled out of negotiations, and signed to fight this guy, everybody would have had a meltdown. They said, oh, it's the biggest duck. This confirms it. He's afraid. He's scared. And if you go back and check my channel, I've had people, because I'm honest, because I'm unbiased, I've had people tell me, oh, you've always hated Terence Crawford. You're a PBC fanboy. If you go back and look at my videos, I've just straight trashed the PBC, and I've trashed Errol Spence at times as well. And I've always supported Bud Crawford. But I'm going to call a duck, and I don't care if you like it. If you don't like it, unsubscribe. That's really it. I mean, I'm going to give you guys a little something here. The IBFP is really not for everybody. See, if you're one of those guys where Bud's your favorite fighter, so everything that you want to hear on this channel about Bud Crawford, It's going to be positive and uplifting. Oh yeah, so what that Bud ducked all these guys? I don't care. He's my favorite fighter. So so if you're a Bud Crawford nut hugger, that's fine. You can be that, but you won't be that with me because I'm going to body bag his ass until he steps up his competition. You should not be a pound for pound fighter. You should not be calling yourself the best in the world and you're fighting David Avenetian. That's disgusting. Let's just be honest. If you don't like the channel, click off. You don't have to watch. This is not for you. This is for people who's not offended by the truth. This is for people who doesn't get in their feelings. This is for people who don't bleed once a month. So if you don't like the truth, please click off. Go watch something else. Go watch any one of these biased channels that's going to tell you everything you want to hear and ignore all the true facts. But let's keep it going. Salute to my brother, the boxing realm in the building. Salute to you, family. Salute to my brother, Optimus Prime. I appreciate the love and respect, my brother. Thank you so much for that. Keep grinding, Nuke. I will, my brother. I will, and I will keep doing that as always. Salute to the boxing realm again. Everybody hit that like button. If you have not hit that like button, support the landlord. I mean, we're gonna do it. And Optimus Prime, he's been with me for a long time, so I appreciate it. Even if we disagree, me and Optimus Prime have a basic level of respect no matter what's being talked about. That's the difference between a guy that's a fan of boxing and a guy that's a fanboy. There's a lot of fanboys in boxing, but not actually fans of boxing, because I put the sport of boxing before I put any fighter. You got to be real about that. My brother Connor Mason says Tyson Fury is cherry picking Derek Chisora instead of Joe Joyce. Fury versus Joyce is a way better fight. I agree. And even Tyson Fury is unsure if he can win that fight against Joe Joyce. Joe Joyce looks like an absolute monster and a problem. And that's precisely the reason why you won't see Tyson Fury fighting him. That's precisely the reason. And I'm going to tell you this. I like Tyson Fury, and in my opinion, I think Tyson Fury beats Usyk. I think he's that talented. I don't like Tyson Fury. I think he's a piece of trash, but I will say in the ring, I can't be biased against him. I favor him to beat Usyk. He's just too skillful. I favor him to beat AJ at this point. He's too skillful. My personal feelings for Tyson Fury has nothing to do with what I've seen him do in the ring and his skill set. We got to separate our facts from our feelings. That's what we're doing. My brother Kendo says they're going to find a way to blame Canelo for the Spence Crawford fight not happening. They always do. It's because Canelo's not fighting black fighters is why this fight's not happening. I can't wait till Dante comes out with a video saying that trash. That's what he's going to say. Canelo's not fighting black fighters. Clarissa Shields going to come out be racially biased. Canelo's not fighting black fighters. That's why it's not happening. I mean, let's be real about it. They blame Canelo for everything. They say Canelo's not fighting top competition. He's fought 7 world champions in his last 8 fights. But then you get all these other guys fighting nobodies and they're trashing Canelo. I don't really understand it. I don't understand it at all. I don't understand why Canelo Alvarez gets hate for no reason. The people's eyebrow. Exactly. They still give Canelo Alvarez hate over fighting Avani Yildirim. That was his mandatory, people. I never criticize a guy for fighting his mandatory. These guys are sitting up here hating on Canelo because he fought his mandatory. But when it was David Benavidez mandatory, didn't nobody give a damn. Think about that. When it was David Benavidez mandatory, no one cared. It became Canelo's mandatory. Everybody's up in arms. They're offended. Forget the fact that Canelo's fighting champion after champion, moving up in weight classes, taking risks. Don't matter. Because it's Canelo, they got to keep a different energy. They want to be biased. They want to be haters. This is what they want to do. Exactly, Nardo. Tank. Ain't no way Tank is on nobody's pound for pound. If I'm gonna give you guys a public service announcement. If Tank Davis is on your pound for pound list, you are not a credible person, in your pound for pound list is obviously Kaka, because he has done nothing to deserve a spot on a pound for pound list with the Burger King belt. Salute to my brother, the boxing realm. He says Charlo been silent. Exactly. He's getting ready to fight another Palatero. We already know it. My brother Alberto, salute to you, family. He says Haney versus Loma. Any thoughts? So I'm gonna tell you this: a lot of people are writing off Lomachenko. A lot of people saying Loma's trash. Loma looked bad. Loma did not look good in that fight. He did not look like the overseer Lomachenko. But I still think that him and Haney has a very competitive fight. Me personally, I'm not writing off Vasil Lomachenko. I don't know if he can beat Haney at this point. I don't know. I don't know what Loma we're gonna get, but I'm not gonna write off Vasil Lomachenko. I still think it's a competitive fight and a winnable fight for both guys, Haney and Loma. I think either guy can win that fight. The boxing realm says same with Andrade, also silent. Exactly. The last I've heard from Demetrius Andrade, he was calling out Caleb Plant. And even then, he said, okay, I want to fight Caleb Plant, but first I want to get this ring rust off. He needs a tune-up first. And I think that's the funniest thing about all these Demetrius Andrade supporters. I mean, this guy needs a tune-up when your whole career's been tune-ups. Literally, your whole entire career has been nothing but tune-ups. And now you need another tune-up before you can even look at a guy like Caleb Plant. I mean, I think that's what disappoints me the most about guys like Demetrius Andrade. It's like, dude, stop with this. You need to take a risk. You're too old for this. This dude is getting to the end of his prime, and he needs another tune-up. Your career has been nothing but tune-up. Stop it, man. Stop it. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Noodle Dog said, it's bad when even Southpaw says Bud is ducky. And look, I'm going to tell you this. Southpaw is wrong 99.9% of the time about everything he says. But like they say, a broke clock is right twice a day. Bud is ducking. Anybody that can't see that can't see the truth. No pun intended. Do you think that Beterbiev could move up to cruiserweight and maybe heavyweight in the future? I wouldn't recommend him moving up to heavyweight, even if he has the power. I mean, he could get knocked out. We've seen him drop before. I just feel like that would be too big of a weight, especially at his age. I think he needs to finish his career at 175, and I think that he needs to go for undisputed. Moving up to heavyweight would be too big of a reach for him. I think he'd get slaughtered up there. He has power, but you need a lot more than that when you go up there against those big guys, because those guys have a lot more power than just Beterbiev. And that's all I'm saying. You got to have a lot, and he's not a young guy. So let's just keep that in mind. The people's eyebrow, you mean Charlo will pick up right where he left off? Exactly. Fighting paleteros. This man looking for the elote man. That's who Jamal Charlo wants. He tried to reschedule a fight with an Uber driver. Who does that? Who reschedules a fight with an Uber driver? Like, I really don't understand that thought process. You think rescheduling a fight with an Uber driver is smart? I mean, come on. This guy's a coochie. Come on. Let's be real. The boxing realm, I would like to see Plant versus Benavidez. Benavidez said that that's who he's fighting in March. He said it out of his own mouth. I got the video up. So if Benavidez is lying, then he's clout chasing. But if he's telling the truth and this is real and he's really going to fight Caleb Plant in March, that is a great fight for him. And if he goes in there and makes a statement against Caleb Plant, then he can show everybody, hey, I'm that guy, and I'm trying to prove it to you. Then we can believe it. Until then, we're just waiting. We're just waiting. We're just waiting. My brother Noe says, Nuke, you still making those animations? Yes, sir. Just tell me what animation you want, and I'll go ahead and put it on the list. I can do an animation about fighters, about anything, just whatever. You can also hit me at Twitter at IBFP Boxing. Just shoot me a DM or Instagram, wherever. And then just hit me up and just be like, hey, landlord, can you do an animation about this? Can you do an animation about that? I take all requests. It's all good. Thank you, my brother Noe. Imagine if Plant somehow knocks out Benavidez. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Could you imagine if Caleb Plant knocked out David Benavidez? Oh, my God. Oh, my God. Boy, there would be some channels. Southpaw would be somewhere, I don't know. He would be pulling his head through his ass at that moment. He wouldn't know what to do. I mean, if Plant somehow pulled that off, that definitely would be fight of the year, because that would be upset of the year. People would be stunned. That would be huge. If Plant pulled that off, I think him and Canelo should get that rematch right away. There should be no stoppage. Let Canelo Alvarez fight Caleb Plant in a rematch right away if he knocks out Benavidez, because he just sent a message to the whole division. I think that's fair. If he can knock out Benavidez, Go ahead and get that rematch with Canelo right then and there, because that's sending a message to the entire division that Caleb Plant not playing. I don't believe that will happen, but if somehow he pulled that off, I would just be stunned. Oh man. Fury has the right to fight whoever he wants. It's a voluntary after he fulfilled his mandatory. Just because you have the right to, anybody has the right to fight whoever the hell they want. I don't give a damn what his right is. If you're supposed to talk about you're the best fighter in the world, same with Terence Crawford, same with Tyson Fury, and you fight a voluntary, nobody wants to see a cherry pick. People want to see you fight the best. You need to fight top competition. Stop fighting doodle butter. See, this lets you know Andre's not a fan of boxing. He's a fan of boxers. That's the difference. Come on. Yayo says, Nuke, Canelo should fight Charlo as a tune-up when he comes back from his hand surgery. Oh, my God. Hey, if he can't get the Bivol fight, that would be a great fight. Canelo, Charlo, both of these guys coming off an injury. And, you know, he can't get Bivol because Bivol says he wants to go after Beterbiev. Okay, so what? Let Canelo Alvarez get that Charlo work in. That would be a great, great fight. That would be a hell of a fight. And I would love it, too, because Canelo Alvarez will literally show levels in that fight. Exactly. Renzo, saying the same thing that I'm saying. We both are in agreement. If Plant knocks out Benavidez, he should get a rematch with Canelo. No ifs and buts about it. Absolutely. The boxing realm. Facts. Charlo is a tune-up. For Canelo Alvarez, Jamal Charlo's a tune-up, and he will show you that. But you know what's going to happen? People are going to be, oh, Canelo tried to cherry pick Jamal Charlo. So, see, right now they're saying Canelo's ducking Charlo. Then when Canelo signs to fight him, they're going to call him a cherry pick. You got to make up your mind, dumbasses. Which one is it? Is it a cherry pick? Is it ducking? What is it? You guys can't keep your narrative and lies straight. A suggestion for the animation, I believe this is a Kaka TV. He's trash. Do DBN. He's trash. But I wouldn't mind doing a Kaka TV on the animation. DBN, I'm going to put those on there. My brother FC says Dante Ego Southpaw Part 2. Southpaw Part 2 would be crazy. Terence Crawford animation would be fine. I think Terence Crawford animation would be hilarious. I'm going to put that to the top of the list. I think Terence Crawford, I'm really considering that one. I think DBN, Terence Crawford, those two are the ones that intrigue me the most. Those really do. The Wolf of Wall Street, bro, you at the library? Do I sound like a 16-year-old girl? I'm not at the library, dumbass. And what's wrong with this guy? This one guy says, do one about Floyd. Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one. Floyd is a good one. Floyd, Terence, DBN, those are three great animations that will be hilarious. I think I'm gonna look at those. Do an animation of Terence Crawford during his IG live. Oh my god, that would be hilarious. You know how Terence Crawford was like trying to read off the cards? Like, so if you go back to his IG live, the man literally looks to the side like a million times. Like every 3 seconds, he's looking off to the side trying to read that card and come back to the camera. And it's like, bro, we understand. We understand you're trying to read off a note card or something, but my God, don't make it that obvious. DBN will be a good one. Jamal Charlo still trying to fight Selecki. Yeah, he tried to reschedule that cherry pick. Let me get Selecki. Oh, man. Oh, man. Male breast animation. Oh, man. Exactly. Gustavo says Crawford and Spence have fought more in Twitter than in real life. That's exactly what I'm saying. It don't even make sense that Terence Crawford and Errol Spence, their biggest fight of their careers, have been against each other on Twitter instead of in the ring. That's disgusting. Don't ever say Canelo Alvarez is ducking any fighters. Don't ever say that, because you see Canelo Alvarez showing that he's fearless, and these guys can't get this fight to happen. We know what's going on. My brother says Steven Espinocha. That would be a great one. Oh my God. Cheeseburger Nation still ducking the landlord. Yep. Dante will never debate me. That's it. Mr. Sanchez says, finally, I'm here live. Let's go, IBFP. Salute to you, family. And Felipe, you already know. You already know. Exactly. Cervantes, that's absolutely, Bud is garbage truck juice, or you know what that is. Oh man. Oh man. Hold on. Vigilante says, "What do you think about Fundora versus Charlo?" I think that's a great fight. I would like to see how stylistically that matches up because Fundora is just massive, like in height. So I think that'd be just an intriguing fight just to watch. So I would be ready for it. I would definitely love it. And he has freakish power too. He doesn't look like he has a lot of power, but his power is underrated. You see the beating that this guy put on Erickson Lubin? My God, that is an intriguing fight. I would like to see that. I really would. Let's see. Which boxer could do well if they move up in weight? I was going to say Shakur Stevenson, but Shakur Stevenson just moved up in weight, and I believe he's going to look dominant at the division of 135. I think very highly of Shakur Stevenson, his skill set, his IQ, um, and you know his intangibles like his speed, things like that. I'm gonna tell you this: Shakur Stevenson, he's gonna look like an absolute monster. I even and you know I think that Shakur Stevenson gets passed by a lot. People don't really look at him a lot, but the guy's a monster. He really is. My brother says bud sexuals. Oh my god! Salute to my brother Optimus Prime. Uh, let's see what else we got. Let's see. Let's see what everybody is talking about. Oh man, South Clowns in the building. My brother Renzo said Buzz the Duck of the Year. My brother the Boxing Rim says I favor Navarrete versus Valdez. I do too. I am. I'm gonna just be honest about it, and I think it might not even be close. And we'll see. We shall see. um, My brother, the boxing clips. Terence Crawford's a straight liar and a ducker. He'd rather fight an unknown fighter and David than Ortiz, Ennis, and you forgot to add Errol Spence. He'd rather fight an unknown fighter than Virgil Ortiz, Duran Ennis, or Errol Spence. Think about it. This Terence Crawford has never fought an elite fighter. So the fact that you're not fighting any of these top guys, that's a problem for me. I need you to step up, bud. But Terence Butt Crawford because he'll fight anyone but an elite fighter. That's what Terence Crawford. That's why they call him Butt Crawford, not just because his fight is ass. You know what it is. Oh man. Let me take a look. My brother Optimus Prime, salute to you, family. He says, "Do you think Sordo is clapping Oscar girl cheeks on the side?" I mean, I think the reason why Oscar is overly in love with Sordo Ramirez is because he feels like this is his last chance to try to get Canelo to be on the big stage, to get that fight with him, to try to feel like he can get some vengeance against Canelo. Maybe Sordo can beat Canelo. Maybe he can beat Bivol. Maybe this can happen. Maybe that. We'll see. But Oscar's a kiss ass too, so you never know with Oscar. But I wouldn't be surprised if anybody's clapping those cheeks. All the cocaine this guy keeps in his nose. Allegedly. Don't forget I said allegedly. No Flocking says, "Do you actually believe that Plant and David are going to fight? Because I heard David was going to fight Morrell." Um, I don't know for certain. So I'm going based off what David Benavidez said. David Benavidez said they're going to give him Caleb Plant in March. So I don't really see it. I mean, if this is what David's saying, I'm going to go with it. Unless he's just a blatant liar. That's it. Um, the People's Eyebrow said bugging Crawford. My brother, the Boxing Room, said bug Crawford. Um, my brother Noe, salute to you, family. He says Canelo, in my honest opinion, is the most fearless fighter in the sport. Absolutely. He's willing to fight anybody, willing to take on all challenges and comers. I mean, 23 he was fighting the number one pound for pound elite fighter, undefeated, Floyd Mayweather. No one thought Canelo would win that fight. And so at the end of the day, and he fought it with a catch weight. And so he was also handicapped in the fight at 23. and no one gives him credit for taking that kind of risk. And you got dumbasses saying he's avoiding undefeated black fighters. How? When he fought the best. What are we talking about here? Canelo Alvarez is fearless. And anybody that don't believe that is an absolute dumbass. That's really what it is. It's really what it is. My brother Nardo says, I don't have a problem with Tank, but his fans are the most delusional people I've ever seen. I'll tell you this. I actually find it entertaining to watch Tank to some degree, but the problem is that Tank blowing out cherry picks gets tiring. I want to see this guy fight somebody where he's in the hell of a fight. Him and Ryan Garcia would be a great fight. I would love to see that. I would love to see that. The People's Eyebrow says Tank versus Abnormatis. Oh my God, that would be straight caca. Oh my God. For the love of God, no. Please, no. If this man fights Abnormatis, I'm going to roast his big, fat, stinking, ugly ass for the next 365 days in a row. Fight Abnormatis if you want to. You getting your ass roasted every single day. That don't even matter. Ain't no way I can support that. I can't support that. Salute to my brother Christopher Anthony from the UK. Salute to you, family. I appreciate all the love and respect. Thank you, Sports Hulk. I appreciate the love and respect. Yeah, I'm not trying to see Tank Davis fight nobody that's not a competitive fight. Nobody. And I mean nobody. My brother Boxing Clips says Crawford's a straight liar and a ducker. He'd rather fight an unknown fighter in David than Ortiz of Boots. Yep. My brother says, what do you think about the Bob father? What do you think about Haney's chin? I'm gonna tell you this. Haney's chin is at this point is irrelevant, and this is why. Because if you can't hit that chin, he ain't gonna have no problem. So as long as Devin Haney keeps boxing well, being defensively sound, his chin shouldn't be a problem. When he faces an elite pressure fighter, a guy who can land that shot, then he could be sent to hell. Ismail Rodriguez, he says, Showbiz said that Kambosos would give Loma hell. I'm going to tell you this. Kambosos is like a C or D level fighter. And I think Lomachenko, even now, would dominate that guy. And I'm going to tell you something about Showbiz. This guy's like some kind of goofball. I mean, this guy's always, kissing ass here, kissing ass there, trying to, support everything. You got to follow the facts, Coochie. You can't just be a clown everywhere. Noah, he says, Clarissa disappointed me with that narrative. Yep, that racial narrative. Yep. Salute to my brother Ernesto. Salute to you, family. You the best channel on boxing, IBFP. Salute to you. Thank you, my brother. What do you think of BLK Promotions? I think the only thing about the BLK Promotions, the BLK Prime or whatever, is that I don't know what the undercard's going to look like. I don't know how the setup's going to be. I don't know if they can actually pull this fight off. I mean, these guys came out of nowhere with a massive offer. We don't know what's going to happen with these guys. They're not proven in the sport. They came out of nowhere. I'm willing to give them a chance, see what they can do. But right now, they're not proven at all. Not at all. That's all it is. Salute to my brother Drew. Salute to you, family. He says, what Paramount CEO said about Showtime 11-12 was bad. Don't really matter. Doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, Showtime, according to Steven Espinosa, is not getting out of boxing. My brother Abram says fuel prices are Canelo's fault. Increase in taxes, Canelo's fault. War with Russia, Canelo's fault. Everything is Canelo's fault. We already know how these guys look at it. They want to blame Canelo for every single thing. I'm sure Caleb Plant would spark Andrade. I actually got Caleb Plant throwing dirt on Demetrius Andrade. Yes, sir. I got that happening. If that fight happens, I'm picking Caleb Plant by destruction, sending Demetrius Andrade straight to hell. That's my opinion. My brother Raul Martinez says, did Benavidez fight get canceled? Yes. His fight with Jose Uzcategui has been called off due to public demand and outrage over that fight being garbage. And David Benavidez recently said in an interview that he's going to fight Caleb Plant in March, although we have had no official release, no official word, no nothing. But that's what he said. But, I don't know how much weight you want to put on there. But that's how he talks. My brother he says, Booty Andre achieved nothing. Oh, my God. All his fights are ass. Hold on. What else do we have in here? There's some fake Southpaw in here. It's not the real one. The real one don't have his nuts to come on here anymore, so I'm just going to ignore that. I mean, we got to be honest. Let's see. If Sordo beats Bivol, you think the rematch with Canelo is off? Yep. Canelo already said if Bivol loses his next fight, it's done. There's no point. And I agree with him. This is a weight class you don't even fight in. Why would I go fight somebody who just lost? I'm a pound for pound top fighter. I'm undisputed at 168. I need to move on. My brother Campos Vasquez says Bivol schools Sordo. I can see it. I think Bivol is just too skilled, too talented. I mean, Sordo is going to have to try to hurt this guy. That's going to be the only way he can do it. Salute to you, family. Sniper IBFP. Salute to you, family. Nuke, I told myself that karma going to get Southpaw one day. Now look what happened. He's talking about Southpaw getting shot in the ass. I don't know if he actually got shot in the ass or not. But if he did, Southpaw heal up. Hopefully you feel better. Good for you. And I like to give my condolences to Takeoff and anybody else that was injured in that shooting in Houston. Rest in peace. Salute to Alex Chavez. Salute to you, my brother. He says, worst Black Prime getting that money to pay Terence Crawford. Let's keep that same energy. That's right. That's right. Let's keep that same energy. These guys don't want to tell the truth. These guys don't want to tell the truth. Come on now. Come on now. We're going to talk. Salute to my brother Black and Brown. Salute to my brother Black and Brown. A lot of people don't understand this is my brother from another mother. And I always got love and respect. Whether we agree, disagree, don't matter. I don't give a damn what he say. That's my brother. And anybody got a problem with him, got a problem with me. And that's just what it is. That's it. Diesel, salute to you, family. Thank you so much for the love and support. And for supporting IBFP. Thank you, my brother. I appreciate it. He said doing animation on Deontay Wilder recently released music video. Oh my God. Oh my God. I think I might have to do this one. I think I'm gonna have to add this to the list because honestly, that was insane. Thank you, my brother. Thank you. My brother Valo says Benavidez wants to fight everyone, but Samson is protecting him. Remember when he said no to the Plant unification fight in 2020? It's all on video. That's absolutely fact. I mean, Benavidez says he wants to fight these guys, then these fights don't happen. Samson backdoors him every time. I mean, I don't mean like that, but you know what I mean. And so we'll see if it actually happens. We'll see if Benavidez is just talking or if it really actually comes through because I really want to see it. That's all it is. And Valo, thanks for the love and support, my brother. I appreciate it. Combat Astronaut dropped a link for South Clown. It's not the real Southpaw. I've checked the channel. That's not him. This is some troll that just want a little bit of attention. So just let him talk. It's just some troll. The real Southpaw is nursing his asshole after all these fights he's been. Oh man. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it going. I mean, look, we just here to talk a little boxing. That's all we're trying to do. That's all we're trying to do. Salute to my brother Frankie24. I appreciate the love and respect. He says, Nuke, some guy named his channel Bud Beats Easy Root Spence and then proceeded to call me a fanboy. Oh my God. I'm gonna tell you this. I got your back too, my brother. And salute to Sacramento in the house, Sacramento, California. Salute. I'm gonna tell you this, and this is just gonna be what it is. Frankie24, I got your back. whoever the channel that says Bud beats Easy Root Spence, whoever this channel is, if you listen to the sound of my voice, come on to IBFP, reach out to me. Let's get that debate in. I'll body bag your sorry ass with my brother Frankie 24, because you're the biggest fanboy that I've ever seen. You literally named your channel after Terence Crawford just to hold this man's nuts. What kind of man are you? How can you even be with a woman when you're too busy holding this man's nuts? I mean, come on. Your mama would be ashamed of you holding a grown man's nuts. You change your whole channel to that. Any nut hugger with that name, Bud beats Easy Root Spence, change your whole channel. You have no credibility. You're not objective. You're obviously a fanboy. You ain't got no right to call nobody else a fanboy. And I'm going to just tell you this. If you want that smoke, I will body bag your sorry ass any day of the week just for my brother Frankie 24. And that's what it is. I mean, we got to be honest and unbiased, because men lie, women lie, but the facts don't lie.